Well, the day finally came. As of yesterday, I am officially unemployed, which obviously knew that was coming, but so I don't know, gotta go to work next week, so I should be able to get some stuff done around here. But this will only be the second week since I got out of college. So the second week in, I graduated in 2016, so 8 years that I will not have a job to go to on Monday. I took a week off in between college and starting my job at Bayer, Monsanto at the time, to move everything home and get all the I's dotted and the T's crossed and get things settled back in. And then I've been working straight, even between switching jobs, every week for the last 8 years, and that's not going to happen this time. But Helena's supposed to be posting their that job that I'm wanting to apply for down there. They're supposed to be posting. I texted Ryan down there yesterday, and he said that the area man is supposed to be posting that job early this week, is what he said, or this coming week is what he said. And there's another job on a street department in a town north of here. The pay is not that great, but the hours would be a lot more copacetic to farming because the busy times wouldn't line up. Basically, the only time you're busy at a street department is if there's an emergency or you're plowing snow, which is basically what he told me because he farms too. So I'm probably gonna be out of job for at least by the time you apply for the job, go through the interview process, and blah 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 blah. Probably at least 3-4 weeks, I'd think. And Brian might call me back to do odd jobs when he needs help in that time period, so it's not like I'm gonna be out, but not a good feeling. Kind of leads to some uncertainty, but and it wouldn't be so bad if the dang IRS would give me my tax return that I've been waiting on since April. But I just got another letter in the mail from them yesterday. We need another 60-day extension to review your account and determine what we're gonna do. You're gonna give me my money, you idiots. So this week I gotta take take the 2 letters that I've received and take them over to my tax lady and say, hey, what the hell? We want to go backwards. That one. So anyhow, nobody came here to hear all that. We're gonna be cutting wheat today. It's not dry, but it's starting to get weeds in it, so it's got to get cut sooner rather than later. I pulled a sample on it, tested it Thursday. It was testing about between 18.1 and 18.5. I figured surely between Thursday and Friday it can lose 3 points, because the humidity hadn't been that high and it was sunny and breezy. It wasn't overly hot. It was mid-70s, so it was actually kind of nice. But so yesterday, went back, pulled another sample, went up to 19.8. Don't know how the holy hell that happened, but it did. So I called a friend, and he's got a bin with a fan on it, so we're gonna cut it, throw it in a bin, and hopefully it'll come down that way. It's a 4,500 bushel bin, but there's no way I'm gonna have, even at 100 bushel wheat, I'd only have 800 bushels, so it's gonna put a couple feet in the bottom if we spread it out on the floor. So should be able to put air to it and hopefully it'll come down. But it's got to come off because it's getting the weed pressure starting to get to the point where if you let it go any further, it's not going to cut very nice. I wish that dang bird, you'd think it'd figure out to stop building the nest up there, but it hasn't. So anyhow, the 525 is over at the field. I moved that over there Thursday. So it's ready to go. Today, or this morning, I want to get the elevator set up, which is what we're working on right now. I really need to do something different with this mini bulk. Oh, there's been freaking raccoons getting into it. That's what's doing all this tearing. Bastards. I'm gonna have to get it transferred into a new one and get it somewhere else because this ain't working. When I get the elevator set up, we'll do that here real quick because we got a pretty heavy due. It's going to be at least noon till noon, 12:30, 1 o'clock, somewhere in there before I get cutting. Once I get cutting, it's only 8 acres, probably 2.5, 3 hours, as long as it cuts good. Which, I mean, the straw's dry, the heads are dry. It's just the grain that won't lose any moisture for some reason. Which I had the same problem with this. I've been planting the same variety of wheat for 4 years, I think, or if I've been planting this the whole time. Either way, I had the same problem with this variety 3 years ago when I had that 40 acres of wheat out at my uncle's, and we had weather roughly like this. It was more humid, which is why I don't understand why it won't lose any moisture, because the humidity's not that bad. But and there's guys cutting wheat right now at like 12%. But I think it's time to try a different variety of wheat. Like I say, I've had this problem with it before, and this just ain't working. And I think I want to try a non-beard. The only part that sucks is I've got 1,600 pounds of wheat still sitting in that mini bulk in there. But this variety is a bearded wheat, and the few guys I have been talking to that have been cutting and it's been drying out real nice have been planting a non-bearded variety. So I don't know if there's that much of a difference between bearded and non-bearded wheat. Non-bearded wheat dries down that much better. I don't know, but I think it's worth trying. So anyhow, that should be able to stay there. So we can go grab the Super 55. I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do for a baler tractor, because the 1800's got a dead battery. I mean, it still kind of starts, but it's gonna probably take 2 days to bale straw. I'm hoping to get some baled yet this evening before dark. Get at least 2 wagons loaded, get those unloaded in the morning, and then go back and finish baling. I'm going to cut it kind of high so that so I don't end up with an overabundance, but I still like to get 4 wagons off of it, and I'm going to put what I can in here, or fill as much as I can in here, and then my old boss is buying the rest of it. I mean, technically he's still my boss. Technically I'm not officially fired, I'm just more like on part-time, but technically I'm unemployed. basically he's gonna float me until I can find another full-time. But anyway, so that's where we're at on that. But anyway, the 1800's got a dead battery, and it kind of starts itself, but it's gonna have to sit at the field overnight tonight, possibly. Don't want to have issues with it starting again tomorrow since it's been sitting out. So I can kind of bail with the 1955, but with that baler being a short tongue, any tractor set wider than about 30 inches is kind of makes turning hard, because it wants to get into the baler pickup, and you're wide enough, you're getting tight, getting all the windrow into the pickup. So I'm thinking I might pull a loader off the 1600 and bail with that. I don't know, we'll see. But we got to get this done first. I want to get we're gonna get the elevator set up. I know I'm repeating myself here, but my mind's been kind of floaty since yesterday because of that, you know, a little bit of shock hitting you. Elevator set up. Once I get the elevator set up, the elevator's open, or the grain elevator's open at 10. They're running hours today for wheat. I want to run my sample down there, have them test it for vomitoxin, so at least that's out of the way, make sure it's good, and take my moisture tester down there with me and test this, have them run their sample, run the sample through their tester, and then run the same sample they put through their tester into my tester, and make sure that things are lining up right. Because I have had issues with my tester on wheat for some reason. Sometimes when it's dry, it's accurate. Sometimes when it's a little on the wet side, the numbers float around a bit. So all right, this is set up, ready to go. Shoot some grease in it real quick, and I gotta go grab the PTO shaft off the grain cart since we share them, and then we'll be ready to go down to the elevator and see where we're at for vomitoxin and moisture. Well, I know the moisture ain't gonna be right because I'm gonna take the stuff that's been sitting in my bucket that I've been testing, but see if my tester matches what their tester's saying. All right, so we just ran a sample, or my moisture sample bucket, that bucket, down to the elevator and had them run it through their moisture tester, which theirs is obviously state calibrated because they're doing it for sale or for commerce or whatever you want to call it. And they ran a sample through their tester twice, and it came in at 14.9 both times, and we dumped the same exact sample right out of their tester into my tester, and my tester called it 21, so I like their number a lot better. So once we get cutting, which the dew's burning off awful slow with this, wouldn't really call it cloud cover, it's just kind of hazy. But with any luck at all, once the dew burns off, which is probably gonna be later than expected, I'm gonna get cutting and I'll have Dad run a sample down here, and with any luck at all, it'll come in at 15 or under, and we'll be able to skip the bin altogether. So that'll be nice. So I guess we'll catch you guys here in a little bit once I actually get a chance to start cutting. All right, it is about 1:15, little after. Finally think I can go start cutting. It has taken forever for this dew to burn off this morning. There's basically zero breeze. We've been relying on the sun, and the sun's, I mean, there's a blue spot right here, but like you see, it's cloudy, hazy over there. There's cloudy, hazy over there. It's kind of sunshine and then like sunny, but not sunshine. So it's been taking it a hot minute. So anyhow, we're finally gonna get going here. Trucks have been ready for a while, so all we got to do is go. Come on. Well, Dad just had you out the other day. Oh, didn't have the choke pulled out all the way the first time. So we will catch you guys over to the field. Well, here's a new one. My head's stuck up. I got these off, made a pass down to the end, had to pick the head up to turn the corner. Went to set the head back down, head stuck up. Variable speed still works fine, real height works fine. It's literally just the head. It acts like the relief poppet is stuck. So I don't have any tools with me, but so Dad's bringing some, but it looks like it's doing a fairly decent job of cleaning. Actually looks like it's doing a really nice job of cleaning. A little bit of damage, but not a whole lot. Just looking through here, and it could be just because the machine wasn't necessarily full at that point when it spit it out the back, but there were a few heads in here that weren't thrust all the way, so I tightened my concave up a 1/16. And I'm sure since we haven't got a whole lot, or since we haven't had direct sunlight a big chunk of the day, it's a little tough, but it'll get better as we go. So, but I think as far as settings go, we're probably pretty darn close. It's not really throwing anything out the back. It's clean going into the bin. It's for the most part threshing everything off the head. So I think once we can figure out why the head won't go down, we should be good to go. And we're back, and it only took about 2.5 hours and a trip back to the house with the combine to solve the problem. The load holding poppet in the header valve broke. There's a plastic top hat on it or a nylon top hat on it that the spring acts against, and when that breaks and it can't hold spring pressure anymore, the load holding poppet won't unseat and the load holding valve won't release. So long story short, your head will go up but it won't come down. So luckily, once we figured out the problem, I went digging through my stash, and I don't know where I got them. I don't know why I have them. I don't remember ordering them. I don't remember where they came from. But I had an entire new old stock rebuild kit, plus an entire set of new old stock load holding poppets for these combine valves. Don't know why I have them. I don't know if I ordered them for the 7300 or what, but long story short, I got them. So quick fix, put it back together, head works, we're good to go. So we're good to go. Hopefully. Should be uneventful. Fingers crossed. Pretty good. Oh wow, that's a lot of wheat. Apparently it's running pretty decent too. I guess I need to unload. I was gonna jump out and check and see how it was doing. It's cleaning pretty good. Looks like I can give her a touch more fan speed. It's obviously not losing much if it's got tell you what, the guys that give you your base settings on these things must have really done their homework, because it's not very often you run into a situation in a crop where you're damn near not dead nuts on right out of the gate if you set it like the book says it to, or says to. Not really seeing anything on the ground. There's probably some down there, but it's going to be the light kernels blowing out the back. Looks like it's getting everything out of the heads. I dare say we're good to go. You can tell the straw is drier than it was when I first got over here too, so that's nice. But she's able to cook right along. That's one thing about this combine. It's always just felt like it's been able to punch way above its weight as far as capacity. It's corn, soybeans, whatever. She would just eat whatever you threw at it. Belt drive governor things. Go, little grasshoppers, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Not a bad looking sample. And I also tested it earlier with my tester while I was waiting for Dad to get here. Now my tester's saying 14.8, so I don't know. Maybe it's got something to do with hand thrashing it versus running it through the combine. I don't know. But either way, it's dry. Don't see too much evidence of that ragweed in there, and it doesn't really have a smell to it, at least not that I can smell. Yeah, maybe a little. Yeah, it's got a little bit of a ragweedy smell to it, but the other side's got more mare's tail in it than anything else, so hopefully that doesn't have much of a smell to it either, because when it starts getting a smell to it, that's when they start looking at you kind of sideways, like, hey, it's got some garlic in it or some onion, or it's like, no, I swear it's just ragweed. So gotta give Dad a call, see if he's got time to come swap me trucks, and I'm gonna jump across the road and we'll start over there. It's only 5:30, so should have plenty of time to finish before the dew sets. It only took me about an hour and 15 minutes to do this once we got rolling, so. Hold on. Help me fold the auger back up so I'm hooking on something.
camera before we run out of field, but I'm just about done. But had one minor issue. I busted a spoke. One of these guys. So those are all gonna have to be replaced here at some point. But going to rob one off of the reel off the 7300's rigid head for now to finish up, because I've only got like an acre left, if that, so I want to get finished up tonight. So, but I've only got 9% battery left, so we will save the rest of that for when I finish up. All right, 8% battery. Let's see if I can finish this up real quick. Obviously field's done. 525 ran good. I'll give her, I mean, for sitting out for 3 years, basically the 2 hiccups I had were just age. I mean, sucked, but is what it is. Nothing, obviously it didn't stop us from getting done. This field, I don't know if I'm gonna bale. I know I'm not gonna bale all the straw. I might not even bale any straw off of it. I knew it was bad. I didn't know it was as bad as it was. Basically all I was doing was clipping the tops off to try to keep the sample as clean as possible. So yeah, I don't know if there's any straw here. I mean, there's some straw worth getting, but it's very sparse. So if anything, I'll just come over here without the wagon, so I could dip in and out of windrows and get the good stuff and leave the bad, and whatever's left I'll just hook onto the stalk chopper and come over here and shred it. I was kind of, I'm not gonna say I'm surprised by it, because last year when I had beans out here, I had to spray this field twice to get it cleaned up, and then even by the time harvest came around, there was still weeds in it. So, and like the difference between that field and this field, planted the same day, I mean, treated exactly the same, dished the same day, planted the same day, fertilized the same day, everything's the same except for that field when I got it had been taken good care of. This field when I got it had not. So we're still working on getting on top of the weed control on this one. But I gotta give her credit for as dirty as that field was as far as weeds go. I mean, the sample is not terrible. I've seen a lot worse. I was expecting a lot worse. So it does have a little bit of a ragweedy smell to it, but it's not super strong. So tomorrow we'll just pull both trucks outside and let them air out, and by Monday they should be good to go. So I'm gonna run test this, or do a moisture test on this truck, because when Dad took off the other one, I forgot my moisture tester was in it, but we should be good. So anyhow, I'm gonna, if I-25 can stay here tonight, I'll move it home tomorrow morning while we're waiting for the dew to dry off, and I'm gonna run down to the store, get me something to drink, and head home, because I was thirsty and hungry. So we will find out how we did Monday when I can haul them in. It was probably about 50 bushel. It was kind of disappointing, but I know it ran out of I'm almost positive the problem was it ran out of nitrogen. All that rain we had in May, you could drive by and tell just by the color it was kind of a little bit too light of a green color. I think it just ran out of nitrogen too soon. When I saw that, I should have called Helena and had them come spray 28 on it and give it another shot, but I didn't. So I guess lesson learned, but there was still something here to harvest. So a lot better off than a lot of guys, because a lot of guys around here that normally plant wheat didn't get anything planted, or didn't hardly get anything planted. So I'll take what I can get. So anyway, we will catch you guys tomorrow baling straw. So that's it for this one. We'll catch you guys on the next one.